An Anchorage teen has changed his plea to guilty in a drunk driving crash, resulting in his passenger being pinned under the truck and dying.
Georgina Fernandez has been following this case since 2024 and has the update. Georgina.
Rebecca, Augusta, now 18 years old, Stephen Shearer appeared today in court and both in front of the judge and both families. He entered a plea agreement for his role in the 2024 rollover.
Guilty.
That's the first time we have seen and heard from Shearer, who accepted today a plea agreement where he pled guilty to criminally negligent homicide and driving under the influence for the fatal October 2024 rollover. According to court documents, Shearer was driving drunk with two other minor passengers in a Rabbit Creek neighborhood when his truck rolled over. One of the minors was a 17-year-old Service High School student who became pinned under the vehicle. According to court documents, that student died shortly after being freed from the vehicle. Shearer's family declined to comment after hearing. The victim's family has not made any public statements about the case.
So, Mr. Shearer, I find you understood your rights, and this was a voluntary decision, so I accept those guilty pleas, find you guilty of those offenses. I'll order a pre-sentence report.
Shearer's sentencing is scheduled right now for mid-July. Augusta, Rebecca.
New tonight, the Anchorage School District has decided on those makeup days for students later this year.
This all comes after 4 weather-related cancellations this school year. The district is already allotted 2 closure days, so 2 extra days will be added. The school district says on Friday, April 17th, will be a full school day, and the last day of school and second makeup day will now be Thursday, May 21st. For teachers, the final work day will be Friday, May 22nd.
Now at 6, we are staying on top of developing news at Alyeska Resort. An avalanche has caused some adjustments for those chairlift openings.
Our Bailey Braun is live in Girdwood, keeping up with the updates there. Bailey, how serious was this avalanche and which areas of the resort were affected?
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Augusta. Yeah, this avalanche did cause some closures for Chairlift 4, which is Ted's Express, as well as Chairlift 6, which is Glacier Bowl Express. However, it did not cause any kind of damage to any chairlift or any part of the resort, and there were also no injuries that were reported. All that happened really was that weather conditions took place and a natural avalanche happened, which caused the upper mountain of the ski resort to close down, but the resort does expect for a completely fully operating resort by tomorrow morning. So hopefully, as long as weather conditions allow, and along with lots of mitigation that has been taking place since that avalanche happened early this morning, we should see a fully operating Alyeska Resort. And today we did see that resort still open with plenty of skiers. Chairlift 7, which is right behind me, that was fully operational, so we did see quite a few skiers go out and enjoy just a little bit of rain and some of that wet snow. But again, Alyeska Resort is still open and operational, and it will be into tomorrow as well. At Alyeska Resort, I'm Bailey Braun, Alaska's news source.
And for anyone who skis or snowboards, keeping an eye on weather conditions is a very important thing to do, of course.
We've got meteorologist Jackie Purcell joining us now with the forecast. And Jackie, we want to know if there's potentially any more avalanche danger.
Well, the rain that we have seen through the week has really done a number on that snowpack, which was set up pretty nicely prior to the warm-up. So with now an unstable snowpack, avalanche danger remains considerable in the backcountry. The Chugach National Forest Avalanche Information Center tracks the snowpack and says in Turnagain Pass and Girdwood, the concern is for wet slab and storm slab releases below 2,500 feet. And in Chugach State Park, the forecast warns of dangerous conditions, pointing to that poorly structured snowpack, making it a concern for human-triggered avalanches. So it's been so warm, wet, and windy that's the cause of partially this instability. Gusts could still happen overnight around the summits of Alyeska, 30 to 55 miles per hour, as they've already seen 3 inches of rain and 4 inches of snow just in the last several days. And the temperatures cooling at the top of the mountain versus the base, where it's 40 degrees, the top is 30. So there's the dichotomy between the snowfall at the top of the mountain and then the rain toward the bottom. And current temperatures across the south central region, very mild, a lot of 40s showing up. And as far as rainfall, closing in on 3 inches around Portage, little more than 1.3 for Seward. Current conditions across the region, 40 degrees in Anchorage as well as Juneau, Palmer 39. There you can see those wet roads, whereas it's snow-covered roads in the Fairbanks area at 10 above. I'll have more on the forecast. I know we're coming up on Friday, so we'll keep track of that backcountry weather conditions and let you know of any changes.
Thank you, Jackie. A Wasilla man has received his state sentence today in Alaska's first carfentanil death. 45-year-old Sean Mobley was present in Palmer Court this morning.
On top of his previous 30-year sentence for the same offense last month, a state judge imposed an additional 20-year state sentence today. Mobley was linked to the fatal overdose of 16-year-old Alena Toennis. He entered a guilty plea to first-degree misconduct involving a controlled substance. Prosecutors dropped the original murder and manslaughter charges that Mobley faced to proceed with federal charges instead. Court documents show that on November 14th in 2024, Mobley distributed carfentanil to an adult who overdosed and was revived with Narcan.
Now, according to documents, he met the teenager at a gas station later on around midnight and drove her to a remote ATV trail in Wasilla. She used the carfentanil and fatally overdosed around midnight, November 15th. Reports say that Mobley left her body and continued selling drugs. The medical examiner ruled her death was caused by carfentanil, methamphetamine, and hypothermia. Her aunt, Crystal Toennis, spoke to the judge.
We have a problem in the community with drugs and pretty much, per se, a catch and release program. If there's any way that we can take a lean situation and crack harder down on the drugs that are coming in our community, and when people get arrested and they just get released.
Mobley has an extensive criminal history dating back to 2000, including previous drug convictions. His 20-year sentence runs concurrently with his 30-year federal sentence, meaning that he'll serve the longer federal term.
Fairbanks city officials are eyeing immediate fixes for a dangerous crossing near Fort Wainwright. The targeted area is at Trainer Gate Road and F Street.
Now, after years of concern from parents and the mayor, a city engineer is pushing for a new safety project. Short-term plans include installing high-intensity lighting to protect students heading to Tanana Middle and Ladd Elementary schools, and also additions known as speed tables.
It's like a hump in the road, but it's designed for like a higher speed road where if you're going over 30 miles an hour, it will knock the coffee off the dashboard, but it's not made like a bump in a parking lot. It's something that's safe for motorcycles and vehicles in the wintertime, and it can be maintained with plows.
Any permanent upgrades still require a final nod from the Fairbanks City Council due to maintenance and railroad right-of-way agreements.
And in Capitol coverage, some Alaska lawmakers are concerned over the impact of the governor's proposed state sales tax, especially in remote parts of the state.
Representative Nellie Jimmy looks after 16 rural Western Alaska communities. She says the changes would be difficult for people who are already still struggling after the former Typhoon Halong. Meanwhile, Acting Commissioner of Revenue Janelle Earls argues there's no such thing as a perfect tax regime. The governor's proposal includes a 4% sales tax for the summer and a 2% sales tax for the winter through 2033. The House is hearing from the public today. Our reporter Joe Allgood has that update. We'll have that tonight on the Late Edition. Tourism is a vital part of our economy. That's the word from Visit Anchorage, which gave an annual report today.
Lauren Maxwell takes a look at the trends.
2025 was considered a pretty flat year for tourism.
Audience for you? Yes, please.
But those who came still spent big.
So let's look at 2025 a little bit closer.
According to Visit Anchorage CEO Julie Soppe.
It's more than $1 billion in direct local spending each year. It's 10,000 jobs, or 1 in 9 jobs in Anchorage.
Soppe told the crowd there is reason to be optimistic about 2026. Cruise ship capacity up 10%. And there's also more seats available for visitors who fly.
We've got new direct service into new communities, which is always helpful. And we've got new airlines coming in.
But there are also unknowns, which could prove challenging.
Thank you. In my mind, among the biggest would be what's going to happen with international travel. Federal policies right now have international travelers a little bit concerned about what they're going to meet at the border. So that's one concern.
The other, the economy, whether Americans can afford to travel at all.
Currently, our traveler, who is a little bit on the higher end of the socioeconomic scale, still say they prioritize travel, and we hope that remains true.
She believes they've done a good job marketing the city.
There's something very special about Anchorage.
And are hopeful images like these will pay off. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
It's a little bit too early to tell how summer bookings will go this year.
But Visit Anchorage says that winter tourism continues to grow, which is another positive sign.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.